We spend a massive chunk of our lives entirely unconscious, just lying there. But what is your sleep posture actually doing to your body? You're spending countless hours with your eyes closed, but the exact way you position yourself? It's literally shaping your waking reality.
Seriously, why do you wake up aching? Do you ever just roll out of bed with this mysterious, incredibly stiff neck or a completely dead arm? Or, hey, maybe you're constantly hearing complaints from your partner about your world-class snoring. We always want to blame the mattress, right? Or we blame getting older. But the stakes of our analysis today are pretty high, because usually your sleep position is the actual culprit.
So here's our roadmap for today's explainer. First, back sleeping. Second, side sleeping. Third, the whole left versus right debate. Fourth, the absolute worst sleeping position. And fifth, some actual sleep hacks and upgrades.
All right, starting off with Section 1, back sleeping, its pros and cons. From a medical standpoint, back sleeping is super fascinating, but man, it comes with some major social trade-offs. Okay, let's dive into this. Staring at the ceiling like a corpse in a coffin. I know, it's an incredibly grim description, but honestly, it's highly accurate for what's officially known as the soldier position. This is where you lie completely flat on your back, arms just glued to your sides. So let's weigh the pros and cons of this soldier pose. On the pro side, you're getting absolutely perfect joint alignment. No weird twisting, no awkward bends. Your head, neck, and back form this perfectly straight line. Plus, because your face isn't smashed into a pillow, it actually prevents sleep wrinkles. Your skin stays smoother. Dermatologists genuinely recommend it just for the anti-aging benefits. But here's the catch. Gravity turns this posture into an absolute nightmare for snoring. Your tongue and soft tissues get pulled backward, which partially blocks your airway. So if you suffer from sleep apnea, this position is actually quite dangerous.
And then we have back sleeping's chaotic cousin, the starfish. This is back sleeping, sure, but your arms are up near your head and your legs are completely sprawled out. Just picture someone making a snow angel right there in the middle of the bed.
Now, while you do still get those great neutral spine benefits, you're introducing a whole new set of problems. By keeping your arms raised up like that for hours on end, you change your blood flow. You actually compress the muscles and tendons right around your rotator cuff. That is exactly why you wake up with completely numb arms. And unfortunately, starfish sleepers are absolute bed hogs. If you share a bed, you're claiming all the territory and literally forcing your partner to cling to the final 6 inches of the mattress.
Moving right along to Section 2, side sleeping, the popular choice.
Let's transition to the most popular orientation in the entire world, one that intuitively mimics the deep comfort of the womb. First up is the fetal position. You know the one, curled up on your side with your knees pulled tightly toward your chest. Psychologists actually note that this position provides a deep, deep sense of psychological safety and protection. Physically speaking, it naturally opens the airway up more than back sleeping does. Doctors even routinely recommend it for pregnant women because it drastically improves internal circulation. Now, what's really fascinating about this is how easily people completely ruin this pose by curling way too tightly. When you tuck your chin down and jam your knees all the way to your chest, you completely restrict your diaphragm. So walk through these exact steps with me to uncurl. Step 1, curl loosely. Step 2, keep your body relaxed, not clenched tight. And step 3, let your legs bend naturally without pulling them all the way up. You have to unrestrict that diaphragm so your lungs can actually expand. Let's compare 2 other variations of side sleeping, the log versus the yearner. The log is kind of boring, but it's incredibly healthy. You're straight and rigid, which provides phenomenal spine support and aids digestion. Though fair warning, it notoriously causes that terrible dead arm feeling from cutting off blood flow when you lie directly on it. Then you have the yearner. This is where you have your arms stretched out in front of you, almost like a zombie. It keeps your airway open, but think about it. All night long, those extended arms are pulling your joints out of their natural resting position. That causes severe shoulder strain and pinched nerves. That brings us to Section 3, the left versus right debate. When it comes to side sleeping, the specific side you choose actually changes your internal biology in real time. It's wild.
Because of how our human anatomy is arranged, sleeping on your left side allows gravity to aid your stomach and pancreas. It actively fights acid reflux because your stomach literally sits below your esophagus in this position. It also improves blood flow to the uterus and kidneys during pregnancy. On the flip side, rolling over to your right side puts unnecessary pressure on your liver and lungs, and it forces acid upward against gravity. The only real exception noted in the data here is for folks with heart failure, who might prefer the right side to reduce pressure on the heart. But for pretty much everyone else, go left.
Which leads us to Section 4, the worst sleeping position.
We are now moving to an orientation that might feel incredibly comfortable to some of you out there, but make no mistake, it is actively destroying your body. Let's define it. The free fall. This is stomach sleeping face down with your arms wrapped around the pillow and your head turned to one side. I have to ask you right now, is this you? Because if it is, prepare yourself to hear exactly what is happening to your body while you sleep.
90 degrees. I really want to emphasize this shocking number. When you sleep on your stomach, your head obviously has to be turned so you can actually breathe. But humans simply aren't designed to have their cervical spine twisted a full 90 degrees for 8 hours straight. There's just no way around it.
Let's break down the cascading damage of this pose. That severe 90-degree twist creates chronic neck pain, terrible headaches, and nerve compression. Furthermore, by lying flat on your stomach, your spine completely loses its natural curve. Your midsection sinks down into the mattress, creating this constant, aching lower back arch. On top of all that, your own body weight is pressing against the bed, restricting your lung expansion. You are literally working harder just to breathe. Its single isolated benefit is reducing snoring, but that absolutely does not outweigh the constant back arch and restricted breathing. If this is you, you have got to train yourself to switch.
Finally, Section 5, Sleep Hacks and Upgrades. Let's look at some truly actionable ways to optimize your time in bed. First tip, hug a pillow. Seriously, clutching a pillow or even a stuffed animal isn't just some emotional crutch. When you're side sleeping, it mechanically supports your top arm, keeping it neutral to prevent that shoulder strain we talked about earlier. But even better, that physical pressure against your chest physically triggers the release of oxytocin. That's the exact same hormone released during cuddling. It literally calms your nervous system down and reduces stress so you can fall asleep faster. How cool is that?
So, the absolutely crucial point here is this specific angle, 30 to 45 degrees. Propping your upper body up to this range for elevated sleeping is a literal game changer for your anatomy. Detail the benefits of elevated sleeping with me for a second. By using a wedge pillow or an adjustable bed to achieve that angle, gravity stops stomach acid from flowing back up into your esophagus. This basically eliminates GERD and acid reflux symptoms. Because your head is higher, it keeps the soft tissues in your airway from collapsing backward, which is just incredible for sleep apnea. And hey, if you're sick, this angle uses gravity to allow your stuffed sinuses to drain so much faster than if you were lying completely flat.
Now let's address the toss and turners out there, officially known as combination sleepers. While constantly shifting around does successfully redistribute joint pressure and prevent muscle stiffness, it comes at a pretty high cost. To coordinate those big body movements, your brain requires micro-awakenings. You won't remember them in the morning, but they severely fragment your sleep cycles. If you are constantly thrashing around, you're actively ruining the deep, restorative sleep your brain desperately needs to function.
So let's end with this question. Based on your morning aches, what position are you going to try tonight? I challenge you to use the information from this explainer to self-diagnose your symptoms. If your lower back is aching, are you stuck in the free fall? If your arm is numb, are you a really tight log or a sprawling starfish? Use this knowledge, adjust your posture, and take back control of your night.